Oh my god, I feel like as time goes on and like the closer I get to the year anniversary of starting my channel, the like level of acceptability for like how I look that I have for myself is just like going right down. Like the first few videos I made, like I literally put a full face of makeup on just to go to the barn. I'm not at that point anymore. So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another video. I hope you're doing really well. Happy 2023. This video is coming much later than I was planning, but isn't that the way it goes with me? I thought that it would be fun and useful to myself to look back on 2022 and forward at 2023 and beyond to kind of set some goals for myself and to look at not only how far I've come, but where I'm going, because in the last probably 6 months, I've had a huge shift in my vision for myself in the future, what I want to do with my life. This video is kind of the beginning of setting those goals, because for me, like once I put something out there, I'm much more likely to stick to it and accomplish it. This is partly self-serving in that if I say it, I'm more likely to do it, but also I find it really useful and inspiring to watch videos where people set goals for themselves and then to watch as they achieve those goals going down the line. It will be like equestrian goals, and it will definitely be a longer, chattier one, most likely. And I'm going to say right now that Bingley is laying on my bed and obnoxiously snoring. So if you hear that throughout any point of the video, I'm sorry, but he had a dental surgery, like a dental cleaning, and ended up needing to have one of his premolars extracted yesterday. So he's just been like sleeping for the last day. Like the anesthetic is finally worn off, but he's just, I don't know, he's like a whole nother level of lazy. The first thing I want to do is just take a quick look back on 2022, and knowing me, a quick look is going to be like 5 minutes. And I just want to look at like the stuff I accomplished, not like material accomplishments, but more just things that I'm like proud of myself for related to horses, and also not looking at what I didn't accomplish. So the first thing that I did in 2022 that I'm really proud of myself for is the fact that I took the first big step in what is hopefully going to be a long journey, and I actually started my YouTube channel. This YouTube channel that you're watching this video on right now. I had mentioned in one of my very first videos, which was a video all about Merlin's OCD surgery, that I had wanted to start an equestrian YouTube channel the year before, which is why I actually vlogged the process of Merlin going for his surgery, coming back, the aftercare, stuff like that. But I think I was so scared of what people would say, not only people in my life, but just people online, because I've just seen what a bad place the internet can be throughout the now like 10, 11, 12 years that I've been watching YouTube and kind of actively engaged in social media. So I was just scared. But then early 2022 came. It was in the months leading up to starting Merlin Under Saddle, and I just decided, you know what, screw this. I want to make videos and document the process of starting my young horse under saddle for myself and for my friends and family. And if that grows into something bigger, great. But if not, it'll just be a creative outlet and something that I enjoy. Because fun fact, I have actually been making YouTube videos in various niches since like 2014, like when I first started university, and it's now 2023, so that's 9 years. None of them ever took off. I had like 3 different niches that I tried to break into, but it never took off for me in terms of actually posting consistently, and also just in views and watch time and stuff like that, because I wasn't truly passionate about the things that I was making videos about. And I think now with the effort and passion that I have for horse training and for making videos about that horse training and the love of the animal, I think it's really visible both to me and to people who watch my videos how rewarding and engaging and fulfilling I find making these videos. So yeah, I started the YouTube channel February 10th, 2022, and I think I posted the first video a week or 2 later. And since then, I will admit the beginning was quite slow and it was discouraging at times, because after the initial like 20 or 30 people who I know subscribed, it was really slow. And now I'm at a point where my channel is slowly growing. I still don't have a huge channel by any means, but I'm just so grateful for every person who chooses to spend time watching my videos and likes my videos enough to hit that subscribe button, because I know for me what it takes for me to subscribe to a YouTube channel. I genuinely really appreciate every single person. Another thing that I'm really proud of myself for in 2020, well, it's not really something that I did just in 2023, but there was a bit of a shift or the end of an era for me as I kind of stopped riding a mare that I had been working with for nearly 3 years. Started working with her as a 3-year-old, did tons of of groundwork. She was the first horse I ever started under saddle. It was very much under the guidance of my coach, but I was the first one on her. I was the first one who rode her for the first like 6 months. I did most of her work up through like the beginning of 2022. And in the middle of 2022, I kind of watched as she went on to, like, she's still at the farm, but she went on to do incredible things and work with some incredible people with another rider. And I'm hopefully going to make a video, like a Horses Who Made Me video about her sometime this year, because I think it'll be really healing for me to do that. I'm the type of person that gets really, really attached to the horses that I work with, as evidenced by the fact that I really am dreading the day that Eve moves on to another rider or is sold. Like, I love that mare so much. But yeah, so because I get so attached to the horses that I work with, when it comes time for them to move on or for me to move on, it can be really bittersweet. And for me, working with this little mare, because of the type of character that she has, she's very quirky and like in other hands would be considered a difficult or very hot horse. She taught me so much. So although I was really sad when I stopped riding her, it made me really proud to look back on how far we had come, all the things that I had taught her, all the things that she had taught me. She was the first horse that I ever backed. She was the first horse that I ever did kind of the foundation training with, the first horse I ever taught to jump. She was the first horse I ever taught to go bridleless, tackless, like everything. I'm really proud of the partnership we had and the journey that we went on together, and that was a really transformative part of 2022 for me. I'm also really proud of the fact that I started Merlin under saddle by myself, something that I could not have done without the help of my coach with the mare that I was just talking about. I started him under saddle in my own way, incorporating positive reinforcement with negative reinforcement, and actually got on him at liberty. So the first time I got on him, there was no one holding him. There was only one moment of maybe 5 minutes in his first ride that my coach was leading us. Every other moment of under saddle training that he's had has all been like quote unquote at liberty, like not on a lunge line. You know, I've had some lessons with my coach with him that have helped a lot, but all of the kind of prep work and initial couple of months of kind of slow basic riding at the walk and trot and stuff were all done by me. I've done on all of his ridden training, and I'm just really proud of the polite, kind of well-rounded gentleman that he's grown up to be. And something in the past that I've really struggled with is like imposter syndrome. I kind of went into this in the video that I made about Annabelle, but I grew up being made to feel second best to the other people around me, and I just never felt like I was good enough. The kind of work that I've done in the last few years, I've really started to become proud of myself as a horse person and believe in my capabilities, while also recognizing that I still have a lot that I need to work on. But I don't doubt myself and feel that imposter syndrome nearly as much anymore, and there was a huge shift in that with me in 2022. I also started working with Eve, aside from the fact that she's just a lovely mare and I adore her, and I hope you guys adore her too. It's taught me a lot about how I can incorporate positive reinforcement into everyday training without positive reinforcement being the only method that's used. I've gotten way better at combining negative reinforcement with positive reinforcement in order to make traditional training more palatable and enjoyable for the horse. Working with Eve has really helped me with that. She's also the second horse that I've ever started to do positive reinforcement with, so it's made me a better trainer. I've also gotten way braver at expressing my opinions and caring less about what other people think online. So when I started my YouTube channel, I was always very like careful to be diplomatic about how I worded things and being like, this is just my opinion and whatever. I'm way quicker to block people if they're being rude. Basically, to put it somewhat unpolitely, I don't stand for bullshit, and I also don't stand for internet trainers who are using their keyboards as a soapbox. And last but not least, the final thing that I'm just really proud of myself for starting and looking forward to continuing it as I go through 2023 is I actually, in the latter part of the year, maybe in like November, well, somewhat in the summer, and then it kind of tapered off, and then I started again in November, is I started working with a little mare who I've adored for years. I used to ride her like 2019, early 2020, and then it kind of just tapered off with COVID, and I'm working with her using solely positive reinforcement to help her overcome the kind of trauma and anxiety from quite a troubled past. She's a bit of a rescue case. Working with her over the last like 6 to 8 weeks has really made me realize how fulfilled I feel working with horses and helping them overcome issues on the ground. As much as I love riding, I feel most fulfilled fulfilled working with horses on the ground, helping them to navigate their lives better, helping to ensure that they have, you know, the best welfare and feel comfortable around humans and in their environment. And just working with this little mare, her name is Safi, has really reignited a passion that I had that was always there since I started working with positive reinforcement, but I've never been able to really test out or put into action because Merlin, while he's been an excellent teacher for me and I've been a good teacher for him using positive reinforcement, he doesn't have any like trauma. So I've never been able to try to help someone overcome it, and working with her is just helping with that so much. So that was a very rambly kind of looking back on 2022. Rather than just looking at things coming this year, I'm gonna do like goals for this year, mid-range goals, so the next like 3 to 5 years, and then long-term goals. So these are the kind of more abstract ones, but they're things that my short and midterm goals will help me to work towards. So it's all kind of like building blocks. I really want to get Merlin off property a few times. I did manage to get him off property last year when we went for a trail ride, and this year I would really like to take him on a few more trail rides to the same place, and I would like to get him off property schooling at least once. There's a lot of really lovely venues in the area just around the farm that would involve a very short trail ride, and I think it would just be beneficial for him brain-wise to get off property, to do a proper schooling session in an arena rather than just trail riding. I also want to work to get him super consistent on the flat so that when we start his jumping career, he has a really solid foundation, and I think making sure that he has a really solid foundation on the flat will speed along his jump training in that he hopefully won't be as wiggly and things like that. I don't think I'm going to start him over fences this year, or if I do, it will be very small like Cavalier style things. We're definitely going to do a lot of like pull work and work on his stride adjustability, all things that will build towards jumping and transfer to jumping without actually putting a fence in front of him. Not related to him, but still related to horses. I want to take advantage of some further education opportunities. So for example, last night I attended a kind of intro to equine behavior webinar being put on by Shelby Dennis of Milestone Equestrian, and it was fabulous. My coach is hosting an equine, like a weekend long equine first aid course in May that I'm going to be participating in, which I'm really excited about. And then there's 2 courses there's one in the kind of spring summer, one in the fall that I'm going to take that will teach me a lot about equine behavior. So those are some further education opportunities that I'm hoping to take advantage of. I'm also just going to keep working with both Eve and Safi to bring them along. Eve will hopefully be much more solid on the flat in a few months' time, and we'll start jumping more and hacking more and hopefully get her to the point where she's comfortable going for a nice gallop, maybe take her on a trail ride off property, something like that. And kind of going along with that, I'm going to keep working with the 3 of them, Eve, Merlin, and Safi, to just continue developing my skills as a positive reinforcement trainer, because I feel like 2022 is a big turning point for me where I started using it more consistently and as like part of my everyday rather than just like trick training, kind of more abstract. I just want to continue making videos and like social media content that I enjoy and find valuable. I also have these aren't really goals, I just have some like exciting things coming up, some of my horsey travel dreams coming true. So the first thing is actually coming up decently soon. In April, I'm actually doing a road trip to Kentucky, to Lexington, to attend the Land Rover Kentucky 3-day event, which I can't actually believe I'm saying. I've wanted to go for years and it was just never something I thought I would do. It's like a 13.5-hour drive, and I'm actually going with one of my internet friends, my lovely friend Natalie at Bo's Equine on Instagram. We're gonna do lots of shopping and I'm just super excited. So that is the first thing that I'm really looking forward to. I'm thinking about doing a trip to Toronto in November to attend part of the Royal Winter Fair, which I've had a lot of friends go to and compete in, but I've never been myself. They have like an indoor eventing, like arena eventing type thing every year. I really want to attend that. And then something I've been thinking about recently, if funds and vacation time will allow, I'm hoping to go to Alberta, Calgary, Banff in July to visit one of my best friends who I've been like wanting to visit out there for years and years. And while I'm there, hopefully we'll check some other equestrian bucket list items off, mainly like trail riding, horse trekking in the Rocky Mountains, and attending some sort of competition at Spruce Meadows. Those are some things that are coming up this year that I'm really, really excited about. Moving on to the kind of more abstract goals. So these are like my mid-tier goals. The next like 3 to 5 years maybe. And the first thing that I have to do, it's not horse related, but doing this will allow me to pursue the things that I want to do that are horse related, is working really hard to pay off my student loans so that I can purchase the things that I want to purchase. So this year that will probably involve in the fall taking on extra work, so I'll be really busy and probably stressed out, but I know that in the long run it will help me and make me feel better by allowing me to pay off my student loans way earlier than I am currently on track to pay them off. So once my student loans are paid off or nearly paid off, I want to buy an SUV so that I can eventually buy a horse trailer. Here in North America, the types of trailers that are really common are heavier and need to be pulled by like pickup trucks, but thankfully there are some dealerships here in Ontario actually that are starting to stock European style trailers that can actually be towed by mid-sized SUVs, even for big horses like Merlin. 2 to 3 years from now, I'm going to get an SUV. Basically, as soon as my student loans are paid off or nearly paid off, I'll do the SUV thing and then work for like a year to try to pay that down as much as I can and then buy a horse trailer. And the horse trailer that I want to get is actually an Equitrek. It's the Equitrek Day Trekka. So those are the kind of more like material things that I want to work towards, but they will allow me to do so much more with my horses and give me so much more freedom when it comes to competitions and things that I want to do. And then something else a little bit more abstract, it kind of ties into what I was talking about further education, is I basically want to pursue, I'm going to keep this pretty vague because I don't want to jinx it, but I want to pursue a further education that will allow me to work with horses and people using positive reinforcement, learning theory, and kind of Lima principles with a big focus on equine behavior. And it's something that I haven't been able to get it out of my head. Like sometimes I get these ideas in my head and I think, oh, that would be really cool to do, and I hyper focus on them and then I just kind of lose steam and I abandon those ideas. This is just something that I've been kind of ruminating about and marinating on. That sounded really weird. But anyways, I've been thinking about it for months, and it's just, as time goes on, it's coming more and more to the forefront of my brain. So that'll be kind of midterm goals that will allow me to accomplish my long-term goals. So long-term, so maybe like 5 to 10 years, I want to be able to start offering behavior consulting services, horse training, and online help for people who are curious about positive reinforcement or who need help with their horses. I also want to get to a point where I can afford to adopt, retrain, and rehome horses who are in need of a soft landing. So whether that's auction rescues or whatever. My work with Safi is really making me realize how much fulfillment I find in that, and I think it would be really, really fun and really cool, as well as off the track thoroughbreds, because Eve has made me kind of slowly start to obsess over OTTBs, and I think it would be cool to do a mix of two. Take in, you know, a project horse for 6 to 8 months, work with them, find them an amazing home, and then just do the same thing over and over again. And last but not least, and this is more like obscure and not so tangible, but I just want to help make humane, science-based horse training a more accessible, common, and palatable concept to people within the horse industry, because I think we're getting to a point now where it's starting to become more and more common. Yeah, there's just so much misinformation about it, and it's really just about making training enjoyable for the horse and also to make them a more willing participant. And to be honest, like my experience with horses and my relationship with them has improved so much since I started working with positive reinforcement that I find training actually goes quicker, even though people say that training with food makes it go slower. It's not true. So yeah, that is a look back on 2022 and a look ahead to this year and beyond. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna not ramble on because this video has been long enough. So if you did enjoy it and want to see more, check out some of my other videos, and if you so desire, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video because it really does help the YouTube algorithm push it forward if it sees that people are enjoying it. Leave a comment down below with some of the things that you accomplished in 2022 and want to accomplish in 2023. And yeah, until next time, I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Don't forget to give your horse or pony a hug or a kiss the next time you see them, and I will see you in my next video, whatever that's going to be. Bye.